Minister of War, and said, I would like to volunteer to the war front. And the Minister of War said, don't volunteer, take charge of the medical services in the front. And she took care to ease the pain and the sick of the wounded soldiers in the battlefield. After the war, as you all know, she dedicated herself to develop the nursing profession to excellence. It was her leadership, dedication, and drive for excellence that our society today, both you and me, benefit so much from the care of our nurses. You could remember, nurses today are always, in the past rather than today, if not of Florence Nightingale, we're actually done by people who have nothing to do in life. That's all it started, right? And it was not even a good job for women to care of the sick and the wounded. So it was the drunkard men that has nothing to do in life that actually started to do the nursing work. And it became things more horrible during those days. And we have to thank Florence Nightingale for doing what is best for the nursing profession today. Miss Darlene de Langale Borromeo followed the examples of Florence Nightingale. Wherever she is, she's no longer with us in the Philippines, she's abroad, but nevertheless, she dedicated herself to the profession and to develop excellence. And I think she is among the few nurses that we have abroad that we should feel proud of. And I hope many of our nurses in the coming days, if they go abroad, they don't just go there just to earn for a living, but to make a difference in wherever communities they are in. Our modern Nightingales, the likes of you, are faced with two challenges today: living a comfortable life and serving our communities. At the individual basis, these are difficult choices to make. To live a comfortable life and to serve our community. But collectively, nothing is impossible. Your society, the Delta Nursing Society, is an important vehicle of not only developing community leaders from your profession, but also in driving excellence in the delivery of healthcare services to our people. I could imagine our society in 20 years' time, when many of our politicians actually came from the nursing and medical profession. It would have been a very, very caring society. Today, our society is really scary. You know, it's a society run by men who really love guns rather than love of caring for people. When we are alone in our work, in doing service to our community, there is very little that we can achieve. But together, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. As always been said, life is a journey. Let us join with fellow travelers to make a difference. And as they always say, we always have choices. I think it's not fair to us to tell that there's nothing much we can do, because by saying so, it means we surrender already our choice to make choices in life. Remember that life itself is a privilege. To live a life, a comfortable life where you are now, despite all your angst and problem of the rising prices, it is still a privilege. Others don't have the opportunity to reach the age where we are in today. They die young, never have the opportunity to enjoy life. Life itself is a privilege, but to live life to the fullest, well, that is a choice that we could make. And I'm sure you are all willing to make that choice. Let us all remember in life, with all the challenges in life, it is not what happens to you that determines how far you go in life, but rather it is what you do with what happens to you. Therefore, it is a challenge to all our sense of awareness of things, of what we do, what we cannot do, and how far we can do. They always say, in most difficult times, we find dreamers in our midst. Men and women who can afford to dream. Organizations like yours should not only encourage young men and women to dream, but let us also encourage young men and women to move into action. It is action that what we need this time, not only dreamers. And it is through action that we actually make choices in life. As we continue your pilgrimage in life, as I always consider myself as a traveler, and therefore I always make reference with journey in life, you all meet that kind of people out there in your journey, and you will find out you are not alone. There are people you can always meet somewhere, and there are always people that you will again meet. As we continue with our pilgrimage, may we all be guided by love, a sense of love. I think love is free, but it is becoming a very scarce resource today. People are not extending their love to others. No? They don't want to share it, and yet it is free. And what matters most today for many people are material things rather than love. Second, we need to be guided by compassion. Compassion is not only doing things. Compassion is putting passion to what we do. What we need today are passionate men and women. Dreamers, men that make choices, but men and women who have passion for things. It seems that things are done today for the sake of doing it, and passion is no longer there. Passion should be the one, the driving force within us that pushes us to do things, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, life is short, and our journey will not be too long. But at the end of the day, the reckoning, if your lapida of life will be written, what it is that will be written that our community should remember about you. Love, compassion, and a sense of universal responsibility are the sources of peace and happiness in this world. Love, compassion, universal responsibility are things for free. They don't have monetary value, but when you do love, when you offer compassion, and when you take universal responsibility, you do and deliver greater value for many of our people. Sometimes in organizations, we find it frustrating that there are, despite the nobility of our intention, there are very few people we could attract. And that's part of journey in life. I think let us not celebrate the big numbers we have, but let us celebrate the quality of men and women that remains with us. I traveled long places for some time, and there was a time I was invited to a conference, and I traveled long. I traveled 14 hours across the globe. And in that conference, there were only 6 of us. Sitting at the table, it was a small table, and I asked, why do I have a travel this long way for 14 hours to sit with these guys for 4 hours, and there were only 6 of us? And when the guys started to introduce themselves, I was just so fascinated with them. And these are guys of passion. And when one of the guys introduced herself, I said, I am a mother, I work in a political party, and I will be Prime Minister of this country. And probably she might be the Prime Minister of Sweden when they have their election next year. And the other one sitting with us was saying, I don't have a country, but I'm sure we will have a country one of these days. And I will be a leader of that country. And the guy is from Fatah of Palestine. So it's not the number of men and women, but it's the quality of men and women and their disposition in life that should matter always in many activities we undertake. May we continue with our journey. May we continue to contribute in our community, and I have faith in your organization that indeed we have to build leaders for our community in the coming 20 years. I think it's important to ask ourselves today and the future leaders that will be coming in our way is to ask the question, what is the legacy that we would like to leave? Many people don't put the question of legacy. They think of legacy after their term of office.